Morning, boys. We have a lot of absorption at these lows so far. Hell of a lot of absorption. That doesn't really indicate a reversal necessarily, but it's definitely something to be aware of. Does it sound good? That music sounds pretty loud. Let me turn it down a little bit more. How does that sound? Yeah, that sounds better. Yeah, so like I said, we'd break the lows. We also had, this is what I was watching just, we had these highs getting higher, but then the delta was doing this. So yeah, I saw that. So I saw that, and that was like when price was like sort of here. So I was like, oh, that looks like it's probably going to drop, and then yeah. And then it was fighting some absorption, trying to break this low, and now it's busted it through it. So we'll see what's gonna happen here. That's not extended. There we go. Let me get the chat up. There we go. Oh, I've like pulled something in my stomach. Wouldn't mind a fade of the overnight value area low, to be honest. That's not right. Yeah, it is. Sometimes the value area is like, looks like it's placed wrong. Then if you extend the profile and just like extend it once and then put it back, normally that fixes it. Yeah, we clearly have failed out of the overnight range. Kind of not really many nodes though. I mean, we've still got 10 minutes before we've even developed any sort of real volume, so. But there's nothing really here to the downside unless we get all the way down to the 68 previous day's point of control overlapping with previous week's value area high. Can potentially look for something if we get all the way down there, but I prefer this. Getting a short here. that'd be pretty nice. Value area low times previous day's value area high. We have like a little node there, but it's not a node really. It's just volume. So hopefully the delta helps us a little bit when we get up there, but I don't really know how it can. There's not exactly a high, unless as we approach it, the delta literally just keeps dropping. Then I'll just full port, to be honest. But unless we get that, there's not much I can base off the delta, really. My templates set up right for... No, they're not. Need to be on 150. 150. There we go. Is there something on my No, it's not on my screen. I thought it was like a bug on my screen then. It's just this bit of price looks really weird. I might change the colours of this, it's just bugging my eyes for some reason. No, I don't like that. It's probably a little bit too opaque. Let's go for like 75. That looks a little bit nicer. You know what? No, I don't like I don't like how I can see the candles through it. I'm bumping it up to 100. I don't care about them candles really, so what's the point of me being able to see them? This is definitely something. Do you know what I also kind of want to do today? Just as a pure curiosity thing, really. I want to mark out the initial balance. Fucking IBH, there we go. IBH, IBL. Just what I just want to watch these really. I'm not going to trade off of them unless they line up with something else, but I'm curious to, obviously they're not confirmed yet. How could I put that on the thing? You know what, I'll just delete them for now, and then I'll set them at 10:30. NQ is tricky this morning, just missing my marks. I grabbed profit, not done. I'm done for the day though. Oh, it doesn't sound all too bad then, Dompy. How's NQ look this morning? It looks aggressive. I personally mark out the 1 hour IB. Yeah, I definitely have been interested in it. I'm just going to mark it out going forward. Try to remember to, at least. It's just like a useful little thing to pay attention to. Morning, Professor Mark. I did a little reading of your of the sheet you put in the group. Very useful stuff. Appreciate that. That 80% rule. Yeah, like I said in the chat, Dompy loves his 80% rule, Mr. Wiz. That isn't the Dalton rule, as far as I'm concerned. It's the Dompy rule. Yeah, definitely something useful to pay attention to. Like I say, every time it's done it, Wiz has let us know, and it obviously works pretty well. And it's got a lot of data. I was looking into also like what it actually is based off of. And obviously the two people that, or the guy that made Market Profile or something, and then later on, Dalton, they studied like thousands of days, and noticed that, so that's where the data comes from. So I mean that's pretty reliable. I don't know how many people can say that they're trading based off something that has thousands of days of worth of data. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT just how much. It's in the Discord, Starscream. If you aren't in the Discord, just go in the description of any of my videos. It'll be in the description of this stream. Should be. There'll be a link to join the Discord, and he shared it in there. It's completely free. It's not no upsell or anything. Completely free community. Mainly filled with ICT traders, but since I made the switch to volume profile, we've got a couple volume profile boys in there. I mean, Dompy uses he's like a hybrid. He uses ICT and includes some of the volume stuff. And then yeah, Professor Mac recently joined, so we've started having a little bit of more volume profile conversations. I am gonna add. Later today I'll add an extra tab in the Discord, so that'll be like a volume profile specific one. We'll have the main day trading tab with it now. That'll just be renamed to like ICT day trading, and then I'll make a new tab just below it that's for volume profile stuff, just to keep us nice and segregated. That's what I was doing. How much data does the 80% rule Dalton rule have behind it? The 80% rule was popularized by James Dalton in Mind Over Markets from 1990 and Markets in Profile 2007. Dalton credited the concept to the Chicago Board of Trade's market profile education in the 80s. The idea, yeah, I know all that. Oh, it's not a rule derived from statistical backtesting, but rather an observational guideline from profile-based traders who noticed the pattern occurred under certain conditions. No published peer-reviewed or institutional data set confirms the 80% figure. Okay, so there isn't actually a hard, like, statistical edge to it. The rule works best in balanced rotational markets, not trending days. When you filter out trending days, the success rate rises from 55 to 65 up to 70. These are independent studies, by the way. In real data, the 80% figure is overstated. Yeah, I mean, if you want to, Professor Mark, I'm sure it'd be useful. Real odds 60 to 70% probability of filtered through balance days, and then depending on how much time you demand it stay back inside value. So I think the pure rule was it needs to open outside value, or at least meaningfully extend beyond value of the previous day, and then come back in for an hour. Everything is just likely. I use what I've seen personally 100 times or more. Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, as soon as I saw it, when I read it in the thing that Professor Mac shared, as soon as I saw 80% rule, I was like, Don P, your rules in here. Actually getting somewhat of a D-shaped profile here. If we come back up to the upper end of value in here, obviously that'll mean that we put some more volume across here. So this will poke out a little bit more, making it a bit of a nicer D-shaped profile. And that warrants pretty nicely for a fade up here. So we'll see if it wants to get up there, obviously. Still looks pretty strong to the downside. Yeah, true. Definitely important to have your profile mark set up correctly. For sure. Otherwise you'll think it's returned into value and it's actually, like, nowhere near. I need to turn that fan off that's just on in my... One sec. Got them like room fan for the bathroom. So let me just re-familiarize myself with the initial balance rules, or like guidelines, because I did read that before. Where is that tab that I had? Do you know what I did also, Professor Mac? You used ChatGPT to make that to make the playbook. I then downloaded it and then I put it into ChatGPT because I didn't really have enough time to read like the full 18 pages obviously before this stream, so I put the document into ChatGPT and then just said like summarize this, focusing on what matters for the New York AM session for ES, and it popped out all the stuff obviously. I just found it funny how you made it with ChatGPT, and then to read it, instead of reading the whole thing, I just basically got ChatGPT to summarize its own work without it even knowing. Where was I? Initial balance logic. Yeah, first hour, statistic, 90% of days break one side of initial balance, only 28% of days break both. That means 10% of days. I mean, that makes sense, to be fair. I can't really... It doesn't feel like I've seen a day that stays inside initial balance then for quite a while. Hang on a minute. 90% of days break one side, 28% break both. So that then means there's 10% of days. So 1 in every 10 days doesn't break initial balance at all. That can't be true, surely. I just figured that initial balance will probably be useful for me since I'm now trading. Because like when I was ICT trading, it wouldn't really been useful to be honest. But more because I'm trading more now, as in like longer into the session with volume profile. I'm trading for like till 11:30. So like initial balance will be in play for at least an hour of like my session. Well, an hour of my session. So like today, for example, if we get, let me favorite this tool, horizontal ray. Let me just make some, so like say if we, say this isn't obviously initial balance yet, but let's say it is. If we then break this and then we come up here to the other end of value, or the other end of initial balance, sorry. Obviously this will be most likely the initial balance high. So if we break the low, then there's what, a 72% chance that this high doesn't get broken. So that would boost your confidence massively, putting your stop just above it, for example, which obviously makes you much more confident in this fade, because you have all this backing you, and then you also have the fact that 72% of the time, if we break the initial balance low, this high very likely won't get broken. So that's one way to use initial balance. "90% of days break at least one side, only 25 to 30%. Yeah, so about 70% rule. If one side gets broken, about 70% chance that the other doesn't. And then obviously you can do like the whole break and retest also. That's like another nice confluence, I guess, if you're using initial balance and it's like the high or low forms close to like a value level. You can use it as like an extra reference level, as like a break and retest. Initial balance is super useful if you're willing to trade a bit later. It would probably be useful for you since you trade the first couple of hours. Oh yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. It'll be in play for, well, I mean, my window is 10 till 11:30. It's 9:30 till 11:30 really, but I'm very low chances of very rarely I'm taking trades in that first half an hour. So let's say that my window is 10 till 11:30, because most times it is. That means for 2/3 of my window, initial balance is in play, or it's set like 30 minutes into my hour and a half session. So no reason really not for me to pay attention to it. We are really just having a melt-off day here, aren't we? I see no reason to try a little bounce from these previous days' POC and previous week's value area high, because Delta is just confirming this move, so we'll likely get a break here. Maybe a retest of value area low, but I would want some volume first. And then we'll see where initial balance is in 20 minutes. Get rid of that. I can mark the other one though up there as initial balance high. Let's get rid of that tool as well, since that's definitely not, well, likely not getting revisited. Let's make some templates for this. I'm gonna get rid of these ICT templates because like I'm never gonna use them again, and they just clutter up all my template drawing templates. Template save as IBH, and then IBL. So then you can also do a fade of the initial balance high as well. Well, the initial balance, not just the high. You can do an initial balance. So like that kind of helps. You know, you remember the whole ICT rule, like Dom P, you'll remember this. Obviously your volume profilers won't unless you have any history of an ICT in you. But ICT often teaches that 10:30 is like a good time to look for a reversal in the New York AM session. It's a normal good time to watch for like a retrace back into, like, if we've had a strong move here, 10:30 could offer some sort of a reversion. So obviously that's kind of coincides with what initial balance is. Like once initial balance is formed, maybe then we retest initial balance. Or once we test it and then like obviously fade it. So like for example, if I see initial balance form and then I see delta like exhausting as we approach initial balance, that sounds like a solid trade idea to me. Oh, this is cool as well. So you can, if by 11 AM both initial balance edges remain unbroken, you're likely in balance. No shit. Yeah, saying that, it's only half an hour. Then you can focus on rotational days. Let me tell ChatGPT that I trade mainly. Oh no, I trade 10 to 11:30. So how is initial balance useful for me? NQ bounce from the ESPOC hit with a quick 60 points and retest of NQ value area low. It's I bet you're like loving being able to say all that, Dumpy, and like us actually knowing what you're on about. Does it still feel like a fever dream when you hear me talk about volume profile? Nobody got it. Yeah. I didn't realise how much you were suffering. I'm sorry I didn't switch sooner. Oh, you can use a developing initial balance behavior to gauge. That kind of sounds like it's obvious though anyway. Like obviously if we're making quite a large initial, I wonder if there's any data about like how you could use the size of an initial balance. So maybe like if we have a really large initial balance compared to a smaller one. I'm willing to bet that someone's looked into something like that. When I originally traded market profile and initial balance fades, I wasn't using volume profile or CVD, so it could be very interesting for me. But not until daylight saving. Yeah. That is the downside to it. I bet a lot of people are just not really around when initial balance is in play. I need to tell ChatGPT that I don't use VUApp because it keeps recommending stuff for me to do with VUApp. You got a book for everything, Professor Mark. I mean, you are a professor, so it makes sense. I wonder... I love how I'm literally just doing a ChatGPT rabbit hole because there's nothing for me to do in price. That's a good way to think about it, actually. If we're inside initial balance and I'm like looking at a value area low or a value area high, it could give me a inkling as to whether I should be fading that high or looking for a breakout of it. Like if that previous day high, value area high, like that one that we've got today, that previous day value area high, I'm very unlikely to look for a retest or a break and retest of that, because by the time we get up there, it's going to be likely that we don't break. I mean, that's me assuming that initial balance low gets broken. But let's say initial balance low gets broken. If we end up all the way back up there, I would definitely prefer to fade that high. So it does let you filter some stuff with volume profile, really, which can be quite good. And then vice versa, if we're outside of initial balance, then we're obviously in like a more of a trending day, so I'm less likely to look for fades of any value areas or value levels that are outside of initial balance, and more likely to look for a break and retest of them. I have considered shorting that retest of value area low and NQ, but I need to be done. Dr. John Kepler's profit with the market profile, I think. Hell yeah. We're actually getting a bounce from the POC and previous week value area high here on ES. Delta still looks solid, so I'm not really interested in fading this. And we're coming right back into this node here as well. So likely just a little bounce up into this node, most likely, I would expect. And then continuation. But you know, anything's possible. When ES is near POC, chop could happen, yeah. The point of chop. Let's watch Delta here. I want to see if this... I want to see how Delta interacts with this high. Because it looks like Delta's going to break it first, so... some absorption of buyers for some continuation is my thinking. Because Delta's still pushing up whilst this candle is like wicking back down. Slowly though. Be interesting to see if ES follows the 80% rule. I've been using NQ for that. Oh yeah, it does. I mean, it will. It's the exact same principle. I would be willing to bet that, if anything, ES will probably do it more than NQ, if I had to guess. Since ES seems to be better for everything, value level stuff, like volume profile stuff. So, I don't know, because you could also maybe say because obviously NQ is the more, what would the word be? Energetic indice. So if one is if one of them's gonna like come back in and then pump to, or like go to all the way to the other side of the range of the other side of value, then maybe it'll actually more probably be NQ. I would guess that they're similar though, like similar sort of statistics. This is a test and failure so far of the previous day's value. If we drop into the zone and retest the top, I'm going short. Yeah, I don't hate that at all, really, to be honest. By the way, I posted some PDFs in the Discord for anyone who wants to go down. Oh, hell yeah. I'll go down the rabbit hole later. That sounds like a euphemism. NQ more volatile and EMS more volume. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's why I feel like balanced day rotational plays would perform better on ES, since it's a little bit of a more well-behaved indice. Value levels, and just hope that I can get filled, really. And then I would go for something like that. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wait for a bit more of a confident break. We actually have a little bit of exhaustion here. Just a little bit. Let's see if it gets confirmed. Yeah, definitely some exhaustion going on. Now it's confirmed. I'm starting to regret not taking that shot. Also, let's remember initial balance will form in 7.5 minutes. Delta's still pretty strong. I was very tempted to enter that. It just wasn't really much of a break, but I was tempted. Oh, I want to wait for one more break lower and then I'll try that. What tempted me was looking at Delta. Like, price was rising and Delta was still like falling. Also, I'm kind of also liking a short as well. This is a little like bringing a little bit of this initial balance idea into it. If 90% of days break one end of the initial balance, at least, then what the chances are we're probably going to break the initial balance low when it forms, because look how far away we are from initial balance high. We're literally like 30-40 points away from it. So likelihood is, whatever low forms here before 10:30 is like there's a 90% chance that it's going to get broken. Well, not 90%, but very strong. It's 90% that either the initial balance low or the initial balance high gets broken. I should have taken that fucking short. Now I'll take it. I will. I'm going to nudge my... I'm just going to go for 5-5, honestly. From there. Oh my god. Should have taken that fucking short, man. Oh well. I'll throw the limit order in now, just in case it wants to somehow pop back up there, but yeah, regret not taking that short. Silly me. Silly me. Maybe we'll get like some sort of initial balance combined with previous day's value area low. I'm just going to keep marking up the low for the next like 5 minutes. Alright, I'll just put it down here to remind myself. I just don't want to forget to mark it up. I posted the NQ entry but didn't take it in, but I didn't take in the Discord. I'm not too upset though, as price has been so rangy last week. Yeah, that's fair. Let me go on Discord on my phone. Oh, ouch. Literally a no drawdown value area low fade. Okay, here comes previous day's value area low. Oh yeah, Professor Mac, the oh, not letting you post for some reason, okay. I'm still confident in this short because of that whole initial balance thing I lied out. I will lower my entry to there. Still 7 points risk though. Oh god, how long has music not been playing for? You should have fucking told me, guys. Been holding out for you. Holding out on you. It's because I had ChatGPT up, it just wasn't playing any... Oh no, it ran out of music actually at the end of the fucking playlist. Ooh. Little crack of the neck never hurt nobody. What does today look like on like a 15-minute chart? Wow. I never thought I listened to your background at all, but then I found myself humming any shit afterwards. That's exactly what it's there for. The perfect background music shouldn't be heard. Just adds a little bit of rhythm to the video, to the stream. It feels like something's missing. Like if I ever watch one of my streams later on and I like wasn't playing music, it just sounds wrong. It just sounds like something's missing. There needs to be something. Like I really think like most streamers, unless they're a streamer that's like really, really active, like talking to the chat constantly, and obviously like they're big, so there's like endless amounts of chat messages to read, then I kind of want to try the previous day's low fade, kind of. It's literally going to be a 1029 initial balance low. What was I saying then? Oh, I lost that thought. I was talking about... Yeah, so if someone's not like constantly talking to chat, there needs to be something to fill the gaps where there's just like silence. Obviously, no one can. How many people can talk for a fucking like hour and a half straight? Especially to themselves. If they're like, I think my chat's quite active, at least like most days. Once it gets going. Okay, that's initial balance low. It's literally got broke straight away, so maybe we'll get a let's just arrange these texts. Maybe we can get like a previous week's point of control and initial balance low fade. I'll take that. Easy for you? What's easy for you? Wait, did you get short, Professor Mark? Oh wait, you mean you can talk for... Yeah, I get you. Yeah. You can talk for hours, obviously. Giving fucking lectures. I'm gonna keep my entry up there, honestly, because it's just such a solid entry. Like, it's the biggest out of all these nodes, and we have current session value area low coming in. So... like, this node, I kind of... like, is making me want to short previous day's value area low, but look at that node compared to this. I know which one I'm comfortable with my stop behind. This one feels like it could get blown through a little bit too easily, especially because it's got all this low volume here. Yeah, talking for 90 minutes, yeah. Be interesting to see now, like, what goes on with this initial balance low. Obviously, it's been broken. And now it's offering some sort of a bounce back up. Also, previous week's point of control there. But we'll see. I kind of want it to break that a bit more convincingly, so then I can get a retest of it with the point of control. Plus, we have some volume forming here, so that's a very solid setup. If we can come back, break that, retest it, very solid setup. That'll be like my next location to short. I do kind of want to short previous day's value area low, but there's just not much other context around it for me to like it enough. Whereas literally above and below it are two much better options. Where the fuck's POC, by the way? How is POC still all the way back up there? It's crazy. But yeah, I'll still take the short from up here. I'm gonna keep my eye on delta as we approach. Ugh. Time to swap the seat around so I'm facing the other way. Watch this bounce perfectly from value area low now, by the way. After I said I'm not going to short from value area low. I'm not seeing anything on the delta that's hinting anything to me, really. Actually, it is potentially going to absorb some buyers here, so yeah, it looks like it's absorbing buyers at this level. Wonder if you can see that on the footprint, Professor Mac. I'm seeing buyers getting absorbed here. But like I've said before, absorption isn't as strong as a signal for continuation as exhaustion. So that is like a pretty solid sell there, to be honest. But like I said before, I would feel silly taking that and getting stopped if it then just popped higher. That was cool though, how I saw that absorption and now price is pumping back down from previous day's value area low. I had a liquidity mark for some reason I had a liquidity mark for some time on my chart that was just hit. Should be a reaction even if the price is going to continue down. Yeah. But yeah, I'll show you what I mean on Delta. On Delta, this high here, the delta broke this high, the delta came up here. So that indicates absorption because delta got up here. So aggressive buyers were in this move, but they weren't able to influence price enough to break that high. So then they got absorbed, and we had that pretty fast reaction back down. Obviously with the context of previous day's value area low and this kind of node here. This is kind of forming into one big node though. It's kind of forming one big, almost D-shaped little node. I knew this would bounce from value area lower though. I'm trying to measure up where I would have entered like here. Stop there. So yeah, it would have been like a 5-5 most likely. So I'd be out almost. I'd be break even now if I entered at value area low. So pump back up. Oh, please. Yeah, that would have probably been a break even. Fuck yeah. Now I don't feel so bad for not taking it. Thank you, ES. Yeah, that almost definitely would have been a break even. Let's see if I can get my entry up there now, if it was going to push higher or not. A little bit of exhaustion at the highs right now. Delta's not confirmed that high that we just put, that we just broke. That literally that most recent high. Now it has, but we got a little bit of exhaustion there, so that's good for me, to be honest, to see a little bit of exhaustion as we approach my entry. Unless we make a new high now, I'm not going to be able to really read the delta much. I would have been shocked if this didn't do anything. It is a daily oh, okay. Good to know. I think even if this is going to pop all the way back up, like straight up reversal from here, I think that my trade is still a pretty high probability entry, given that I'm not obviously trying to get even a continuation. I'm just trying to get a little move back down. Just a little bit. Just a little swipe. I was posting on Discord, didn't see the footprint. God damn it, Professor Mac. My TP needs to be 6150. So I'm just getting ready if I do get filled. 6150. Which puts my break-even line at 62. It is now bouncing away though, so actually we'll just delete that for now. We've got 9 people watching the stream right now, boys, but I'm only seeing 3 likes. Dramatic pan to the camera. Do your fucking job. I'm doing my job. This isn't my job. I want it to be my job. Do your job so this can be my job. I knew Coop, when Coop's ever watching these streams, always fucks with him if I just randomly look at the camera, because I don't even think to do it, especially because my camera's like at the top of my webcam. It's not really in my eye line, and obviously I'm focusing on the charts. It's not like I'm even really aware that I've got a face cam. I feel like I'm looking into all your boys' souls if you're watching the stream, and I'm just like, I don't look at you in the eye for hours, and then all of a sudden, bang, there you are. Now I can see you. It's like ah, fuck, I'm running off. Oh, would you look at that? The likes on the stream just doubled. How's about that? How's about that? Didn't even have to bribe you boys with a giveaway or anything. Yet. Just you wait. The giveaways will come. Probably after I get 1,000 subs, I'll be able to sort some sort of giveaways, which I really do want to do, to be honest. One that's going to help my channel grow, like, probably a shitload, because, like, if there's one way to gain subs, give people free shit. And then also, it's just cool to be able to give back to anyone that's watching me stream. Don P, like, pointing the finger at the rest of you. Traders have to be reminded our focus. I already liked, though. That was the trader version of or the YouTube stream version of pointing the finger at everyone else, Don P. You should be ashamed of yourself. I wonder if this little zone here, I reckon, how far is that off being the new point of control? Not that far. This is probably likely, if we stay here much longer, this is likely going to be the new point of control. I'm looking at the same short you are. Hell yeah. That puts my mind at ease. I need to take a break, be back soon, no worries. No worries, Mr. Wiz. Delta's kind of going pretty flat here, honestly. Which I'm not sure what to take from that when Delta goes like really flat. Really flat. I mean, price is also kind of going flat, so I guess it just confirms the flatness, you know? Like even this high here, it's still like this high on the delta is just as flat as this high. I feel like if we pop above this high though, I should get filled, right? I would think so. The only thing that's going to make me not get filled, well, there's not the only thing, but the volume profile like sort of view is that maybe since we're at the value area low here and kind of at the upper end of this profile, we have a big drop off in volume here. So we could also, since we have the value area low of the current session there, we could poke above here and then go. Obviously I'm hoping that we go a little bit higher and then do that. But as far as like a volume profile view, that's the idea that I see if I don't get filled here, which looks like it's playing out a little bit, at least. Makes sense. I just don't want to, like if my stop, if I'm entering here, my stop's going to be like there, like right at the front of this node. So I could very easily lose this trade, or it makes sense that I could at least. From my perspective, like I can frame it that I could lose that trade and this one still play out. Especially with them being so close. I'm going to watch Delta here as we approach my entry. It's looking pretty flat still, popping up a little bit. Yeah, there's not really much to read on Delta there, if I'm being honest. There is aggressive buyers coming in, but there's not really much of a high to compare it to. Honestly, a bit of there's a little bit of absorption there of these buyers. Come on, fill me. There we go. Yeah, definitely a little bit of absorption went on there of the buyers. 61.50. And then my break even was 62, wasn't it? Oh, 62.5. Really? Yeah, 62.5. Okay. What's that, 75.50? Let's pop that up there. See how that goes. First trade of the day. 10.46. Professor Mac's in. The Kai and the Mac. The dynamic duo. I feel so much better being on the other side of that low volume node though. Really? I wouldn't. Or maybe I'm getting confused as to what you mean by the low volume node. Ugh. Let's see that candle turn black. I was gonna say turn red, but if we're being strict here, see it turn black. See it flip. There we go, flipped black. Nice little flush back down, pretty please. At least to my break even. Okay, getting ready to move that to break even. Okay, no, you still want to be weird. That's fine. How many? I got what? 2 ticks away from break even. Goddamn value area low, and this big ass. I probably maybe should have adjusted my take profit actually. I just realized that this node is built up a lot more, so I'm literally trying to take profit very big into this node. I might lower my. I can go to 6.25. Do I want to do that? I don't know. Probably right. I mean, that would have made me just lose a break even, actually, I think. If I was to do 6.25. Not lose, but get a break even. Yeah, that would have made me get a break even. I'll just keep it at 7. We'll see what this does. Delta, what are you doing? Exhaustion at these highs. That makes me a bit more confident to stay in this. Let's keep it at 7. Not ideal, but oh well. Hopefully this will act as like almost a point of control, since it's such a big sticking out point. Like it's literally the tiniest bit off of the actual point of control. Still getting some solid exhaustion at these highs, so I feel like we are going to get another little push down here, which is nice. Come on, flip red. Or black. It's definitely trying. It is trying. So we've got the right read, now we just need the TP. Or at least the break even. Delta's actually kind of just going completely flat here, really. I mean, it is trying to break to the downside here. Delta is, but that's probably honestly not a good thing. That kind of says absorption of the sellers, if anything. But since it's quite flat, I don't really want to base much off of that. It's not really, yeah, it didn't really break either, actually. Looks like now we'll get break even, hopefully. Just tick below that candle. That's break even, I saw it. There we go, TP. Big dub, big Friday dub. Let's go. $140 in the bank for Friday. Dubs in the chat, boys. Dubs in the chat. Potentially, honestly, should have maybe held a runner. Nah, I don't really like a runner there, honestly, since it's having to fight through that entire node again. And my rule, I mean, my strict rules are that I won't do it, so. Not on the first trade of the day. First trade of the day is the 1-to-1 trade. Do I want to push today? Let's observe for a little bit, and then we'll see in that last half an hour if we can get something. I won't take another trade until 11. How about that? Keep all you boys watching the stream. Oh, actually, I'm thinking, do I swap accounts? Just because right now, that win was on one of my more struggling accounts. which I've got a slightly different risk approach to as compared to my normal ones, but I don't actually think I ever decided what I was going to do with them if I just keep winning. I guess I may as well stay on it, right? There's no harm. Are you still in this, Professor Mac? Value area low was a nice little target, really. I love these value levels, man. So simple, so easy. Well, not easy, but simple. Just keep winning equals a good problem to have. Yeah. Not wrong there. Still have 2 contracts on, nice. There's your POC flip I was talking about earlier. So that's a bearish, probably a bearish shift in this instance. So I think that your runners are probably going to do pretty well here, especially if we can break below. My next trade, see, it's a bit of a tricky one now because we've got the whole POC issue. I don't really want to now take a break and retest of IBL low. Unless we can get someone, if we can get like a node, if we can get a node to form in the profile like here, more distinctive node here, even like right on the levels would be honestly like ideal, but somewhere in this area, and then get a break and retest of that. That's a solid trade, but that's the only thing I would take probably. I mean, really, a fade of initial balance low doesn't even look terrible. Because, like, to be fair, we did form it, and then we instantly faded from it, so it's not like we broke it. If by 11 we're still in this value, I honestly will take a long from initial balance low in the previous week's point of control, maybe. What do you guys think? Anyone in the chat that's got a little bit more experience with initial balance low, am I right in that read there? I'll only take it if I see, like, everything coming together, really, like the delta. Obviously, we have initial balance low overlapping with the current session value area low, and then previous week's point of control is also there as a nice value level. But I don't really want to do it unless there's... And we have, like, the drop-off in volume, right? Like, rotating back to POC is also a nice context. Let's just move that trade over there. I don't know what my win rate has been this month, actually, to tell you the truth. I have it, but I don't have a whole lot of data because I've not got all my November trades in there. But I remember my November win rate was very high. It was like up into the 70s or 80s. And then I'm just pulling my spreadsheet up now to see what it is. I think for this month, it'll be like... Let me see here. How much was that? Was that a $140 win plus fees? Yeah. I'm just going to count that as 140. I don't really factor in the fees for my journaling or even my tracking in general. Like, I don't need to worry about fees really because any break-evens that I get will cover like 3 to 4 trades worth of fees. If I get stopped at break-even for like $10, that literally covers like 4 trades worth of fees. So 140, bang, put that one in, and then metrics, win rate, 60%, so, and that's from all the trades, that's from 12 trades, which is how many I've taken this month, I believe, so far, 1 for each day. Oh, we're there. Jesus, that was fast. Let's see if this would have potentially been something. Probably fade, what? Just straight off initial balance low. Average true range is 4, so I'm going for like, what, another 7 to 7? I don't think this is a good idea now, obviously with the context. I would have wanted to see... One, the delta show me something. Right now the delta is... Actually, no, the delta is... no, I can't really refer to this low because it was like... it's like borderline. Delta's nowhere near this... Oh, it's not anywhere near as this low as price is. So let's say I entered. Let's give it a little bit nicer of an entry, just for curiosity's sake. Let's say we entered on previous week's point of control, which is, I can't even see what that is. 49. Let's say we entered on previous week's point of control. Let me just get rid of this Excel sheet. But yeah, if you included all my November trades, because I did really well in. Oh, nice out, solid, Professor Max, solid work. We should have a reactive bounce from the previous session low, but I'm not sure about last week's POC. I'm basing it off of the current session value area low and initial balance low. God, I'm hungry. But yeah, this is less of a me like, oh yeah, I would have taken this trade. More of me just being curious, really, because like if I wasn't using the initial balance low, oh Jesus, okay. That got smacked. Wow. Haha, gotcha, yeah. Jesus. Okay, that's got to be a news candle, maybe, right? Nah, I'm checking. That's got to have been something, surely. That thing's dumping. There was some... I really need to re-download Twitter just because Twitter's so good for the news. Should have stayed in that short, huh? Oh my god, imagine you stayed in that short. Imagine you held a runner on that bitch. Oh my god. That'd have been fucking nuts. That'd have been like 30 points up by now. Jesus. It's like a whole nother trade from like one contract. If I took like 3 off, left 1 on, it's literally like a whole nother dub. Ugh. We had a small bounce off the previous session low, but price pushed straight down through it. Normally I'd chase, but I locked my exit phase after the win. But yeah, exactly. That's kind of was my whole thought process behind not really wanting to take another trade as well. Got my win. I don't really want to tempt fate. I believe that puts me... What does that put me? Fucking gonna have to pull the spreadsheet back up. Because I can't just go and like look at my Top Step X calendar because it's all like across different accounts. Where the fuck's my mouse gone? I'm on, it's froze. Yeah, they have froze. 1 second. Stream might be about to look really weird. Quit. Motherfuckers, give me a... I've yet to have this happen when I'm in the middle of a trade. God forbid. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but if I was to if this was to happen right when I entered a trade, that would be terrifying. Okay, I'm back. Trade bait. Get back up there. CVD. You beautiful. Oh shit. Didn't mean to do that. You beautiful tool. And then where's my chat gone? Where has my chat gone? No idea. Now it's back. Let me just check news one more time on Forex Factory. Sometimes Forex Factory is a little slow. Not even looking at the right fucking section here. News. Yeah, no, nothing. It's the PTSD from the Trump market. That is. Every time I see a big candle, I'm just like, ah, Trump tweeted something. I'm in a crash night, guys. Good night, Professor Mac. Sweet dreams. Very nice end to the week. If only I held a runner. Enjoy the books? Will do. Will do. Whole lot of volume forming up at this low here. That is an insane trade entry, by the way. I can't believe that. Look at that fucking. I don't toot my own horn often, boys, but good lord, what a fucking entry. How much are we down today? 1.1 basically, 1.13% on the S&P. That's a big down day, right? Like, how's this look on a daily chart? Yeah, solid BBC to the downside. Big black candle. Not the other thing. Why does my profile look weird all of a sudden? I don't like it. That profile don't look right. I'm gonna extend it. It looks more like a fucking NQ. That's when you know it's been a big day, when the ES profile looks more like the NQ one. It's got so many little sticks in, like little bars in here, that it looks more like the NQ profile. You too, Starscream. Catch you next week. Do I want to take another short? I mean, the question really isn't do I, it's should I, because I do. Actually getting a little bit of exhaustion at these lows. That's okay. I'm gonna leave it here. I want to watch this though. We're getting a lot of exhaustion at these, or not a lot, but a fair exhaustion at the lows here. Like a pretty solid divergence. This low here on the CVD has not been confirmed, like at all. So some significant exhaustion of the sellers there. At the low end of this range. By no means a reversal, but it's definitely interesting that it's happening at previous week's value area low, I'll say that. I think that a nice long would be if we were to obviously break above this node. That would be obviously fighting the trend, but this late in the session I wouldn't be too bothered with that. And it's also like a nice, basically like longing back up to, say like you go for like a 10. Let's say you enter a little bit deeper into the node just for the sake of a nicer stop loss. Go for like a 10-10 there. Oh, I kind of really want to take that long. The fact that we have exhaustion at the bottom here. We have a solid divergence of exhaustion here. We're at the previous week's value area low. If we invert this node, break back through it. That'll also give me a nice bit of clarity to see what happens with Delta at this high. Have I taken a trade every day this week? I just realised. I think I have. What was the start of this week? The 7th? Oh, let me fucking see my calendar, not my notifications. Just got on my phone. It was the 7th, right? 8th. So yeah, 8th, 9th, 10th. Yeah, I've taken a trade every day this week. Wow. Multiple trades. I took one on Monday, 2 on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday, 2 on Thursday. Is that right? I've taken that many. I don't feel like I've taken that many trades this week. Let me. I'm going to check in my top step to see if that's right. I don't feel right. I remember the break even. We had the break even day on Monday. We had a max loss day on Tuesday. Wednesday it says we got. Oh yeah, because then we had a day where so we went break even. Then we went max loss day. Then we went 1 win, 1 loss. Then we went 1 loss, 1 win the day after that. And then today, a win. Not had a max win day since last week, though. Last week? Yeah. Last Wednesday. But I think I shall call the stream there, though. So I will catch all you boys on Monday. I'm not going to take anything else in this last 20 minutes. I'll take my 1 win for the Friday and be happy. Don't worry, be happy. So yeah, appreciate all you boys for hanging out with me, and I will catch you on Monday. Have a blessed weekend.